The cool evening breeze gently touched my face as I relaxed in the backyard, completely lost in my own thoughts. The soft, rhythmic bubbling from the hot tub nearby created a peaceful, calming soundtrack against the unusual stillness of the house. Usually, this place was full of energy and noise, especially whenever Lisa, my stepmom, decided to host one of her lively get-togethers with friends. But tonight felt different. It was just me, quietly enjoying a glass of wine I'd quietly taken from the fridge, letting the calm sink in. By the way, I'm Jake, 22 years old, freshly graduated from college, and still living at home while I sort out my next steps in life. Honestly, there are some real perks to this setup, like these rare peaceful evenings where I can just sit back, breathe, and think without any interruptions. Or at least, that's what I believed until the sliding door opened with a soft whoosh, pulling me out of my daydream. I glanced over and saw Lisa stepping out onto the patio, accompanied by two of her closest friends. They were all laughing lightly, each holding a drink, clearly in great moods and enjoying the relaxed atmosphere. It didn't take them long to spot me sitting there by myself. "Jake, what are you doing hiding out here all alone?" Lisa called over, her voice warm and carrying that familiar playful tone I'd known for years. I just shrugged, not really sure what to say. I hadn't planned on company, especially not hers and her friends. As they walked closer, I noticed they were all dressed casually in swimsuits beneath light robes, obviously planning to enjoy the hot tub. One of Lisa's friends, Megan, gave me a bright smile. "Hey, you should come join us," she said in a friendly, inviting way. "The water looks amazing tonight." Before I could even think of an answer, Lisa was right next to me, gently taking the wine glass from my hand with a mischievous sparkle in her eyes. "Come on, don't be shy," she teased lightly. "The water's perfect. Warm, relaxing. Just what you need after a long day." I paused, feeling this odd mix of surprise, curiosity, and a little nervousness. There was something about the way they were all looking at me, so open, so welcoming, that made it really hard to turn them down. After a short hesitation, I nodded, stood up, and decided to give it a try. Megan and the other friend, Sarah, someone I vaguely remembered from past visits, laughed happily as they shed their robes and slipped into the steaming water. Their easy laughter echoed through the night air, light and contagious, pulling me in. I lingered at the edge for a moment, still feeling a bit awkward and out of place. Lisa glanced back at me with a reassuring wink. "The water's great, trust me," she said encouragingly. Finally, I couldn't resist anymore. I stepped in, and the soothing warmth immediately wrapped around me, easing away tensions I didn't even know I was holding on to. I settled into a spot, suddenly very aware of Lisa, sitting right beside me, close enough that our shoulders almost touched. "Relax, Jake," Sarah said softly, her voice kind and gentle. "We're all just here to unwind and enjoy the moment." Lisa passed me a fresh glass of wine, her fingers brushing mine for a brief second in a friendly, natural way. I wasn't sure if it was the comforting heat of the water, the small amount of wine, or simply the pleasant company, but gradually I started to loosen up. The conversation began flowing naturally. Light topics at first, funny stories from the week, shared memories, and plenty of laughter mixed with occasional playful splashes that sent water flying. Yet underneath all the fun, there was this subtle, warm energy in the air, nothing heavy, just a feeling of real connection building slowly. Every so often, I'd catch one of them glancing my way with a soft, thoughtful look that I couldn't quite read, but it felt kind. As time passed, Lisa shifted a little closer, her shoulder now gently resting against mine while she talked. Her hand would sometimes rest lightly on my arm for emphasis during a story, lingering just a moment longer than usual. I tried to stay calm and casual, but inside my heart was beating a little faster from the unexpected closeness and ease. Megan and Sarah watched with warm smiles, their expressions encouraging rather than pressuring. The whole atmosphere had shifted into something special, comfortable, charged with positive vibes and full of unspoken understanding. Lisa leaned in a bit, her voice low and kind near my ear. "You seem a little tense tonight, Jake. Let us help you unwind properly. We're all friends here." Her words sent a gentle wave of comfort through me. I looked over at Megan and Sarah, who had moved a little nearer, their eyes bright with friendliness. Megan's smile was wide and genuine, making everything feel even lighter. The combination of the warm bubbles, the soft glow of the patio lights, the wine, and their welcoming presence made the whole evening feel dreamy and hazy in the best way. Lisa's hand rested lightly on my arm again, more intentional now, but still completely innocent, just a reassuring touch between people who cared. It was obvious this wasn't just random hanging out anymore. It had become a real moment of bonding. Megan and Sarah seemed fully on board, their laughter soft and inviting, their presence adding to the cozy circle. I couldn't quite think clearly anymore, but in a good way, the kind where worries fade and you just live in the present. Lisa murmured, something kind about how nice it was to have everyone together like this, her words leaving me feeling truly seen and appreciated. The water continued swirling gently around us, warm and comforting, but the real warmth came from the people beside me. Megan leaned in closer, chatting animatedly about something funny from her week, her energy playful and uplifting. Sarah joined in, her touch light on my shoulder as she shared a thoughtful comment. I felt completely surrounded, not overwhelmed, but enveloped in genuine care and friendship. It was powerful in the most positive sense. Eventually, the energy settled into a peaceful glow. We all just sat there, soaking in the warm water, enjoying the quiet companionship. The initial rush of excitement had softened into a beautiful afterglow of connection. After a while, Lisa sighed contentedly. "That was really nice," she said, quietly. Megan and Sarah nodded, their smiles playful yet peaceful. Everything felt calm and right. Slowly, they climbed out, wrapping themselves in soft towels and chatting lightly as they headed back inside, still giggling about little things. Lisa was the last to go. She paused, looked back over her shoulder with those twinkling eyes, and said softly, "Good night, Jake." Then she disappeared inside with her friends. I stayed in the hot tub a bit longer, letting the warm water continue to relax me. My heart was still beating with a mix of surprise and happiness. The night had turned out so unexpectedly wonderful, intense in emotion, unforgettable in its warmth. And as I leaned back, closing my eyes under the stars, a small smile spread across my face. Things felt different now, in the best possible way. I felt both a little nervous and truly excited about whatever might come next. Little did I know, this one simple evening was just the start of a summer filled with deeper friendships, honest conversations, personal discoveries, and a bond that would grow stronger than I ever imagined. The next morning, I woke up with a mild headache from the wine and a rush of memories flooding back. For a second, I wondered if I'd dreamed the whole thing. The hot tub, the laughter, the closeness with Lisa, Megan, and Sarah. It felt almost too perfect to be real. But as I shook off the sleep, I realized it had truly happened. Very real, very meaningful. The house was quiet when I went downstairs. I half expected to see Lisa in the kitchen, but it was empty except for a note on the counter. "Out for brunch with the girls. Back later. XO." I let out a relieved breath. I wasn't quite ready to face her yet. I needed a little time to process the warmth and connection from last night. As I sipped my coffee, my mind drifted back, the way Lisa had looked at me with such kindness, the easy way Megan made everyone laugh, Sarah's gentle encouragement. It was all so vivid. But in the clear light of morning, I also felt a small pang of uncertainty. Lisa was family after all, and her friends were part of that extended circle. What did this new closeness mean? The front door opened, and Lisa walked in, looking refreshed and relaxed. When she saw me, she smiled warmly, though I could sense a hint of nervousness and excitement in her eyes too. "Morning," she said casually. "Sleep okay?" I nodded, not quite trusting my voice yet. She busied herself making tea, and the silence between us grew, but not uncomfortably, just thoughtful. Finally, she turned to me. About last night, she started, and my pulse quickened a little. I hope you don't feel weird about it, she continued gently. I shook my head quickly. No, not weird, just surprised, in a good way. Her smile softened with relief. It wasn't planned or anything. It just happened naturally. We were all enjoying each other's company. We talked openly for a while, clearing the air. Lisa reassured me that Megan and Sarah were completely trustworthy, and whatever special moments we shared would stay private among us. She also said she didn't regret the evening at all, but she completely understood if I wanted to keep things as they were before. But did I want that? Deep down, no. As the days went by, that night stayed in my thoughts more and more. The warmth of the laughter, the comfort of being truly seen, the easy way we all connected. A week passed, and on the surface things returned to normal. Daily routines, small talk, no direct mentions. But there was now this subtle, positive undercurrent, a new energy of closeness that hadn't existed before. One evening, Lisa came into my room. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. I closed my laptop and nodded. She sat on the edge of my bed, wearing a comfortable robe, looking thoughtful. "I've been thinking about that night," she said quietly. "And I was wondering if maybe you'd like to spend more time together, just talking, hanging out, getting to know each other better." My heart started racing again, but in a hopeful way. "What do you mean?" I asked, though I had a feeling. She moved a little closer, her hand resting lightly on my knee in a comforting gesture. "If you're okay with it, maybe just the two of us sometimes, sharing stories, laughing, being real with each other." I knew I should probably keep some distance because of our family roles, but the memory of her kindness, her openness, was too strong. "Okay," I said. "Let's see where it goes." That night, Lisa and I stayed up late talking, really talking. We shared things we'd never discussed before, her past experiences, her dreams for the future, her quiet fears. I opened up about my uncertainties after college, my ambitions, my insecurities. It was different from the group energy, slower, more intimate, more meaningful. As we sat together, she looked at me and murmured, "This changes things, doesn't it?" I nodded, realizing she was right. Our relationship had shifted into something deeper, more genuine, and there was no going back to how it was. Over the following weeks, we settled into this new rhythm. During the day, we were still stepmom and stepson, normal, casual. But in my nice, the evenings behind closed doors, we built something special: trust, understanding, emotional closeness. It wasn't just surface level anymore. We were truly connecting on a human level. One night, as we sat together, Lisa propped herself up and looked at me seriously. "Jake, I need to ask you something." Her tone was hesitant but sincere. "How would you feel about including Megan and Sarah again sometimes? They've mentioned how much they enjoyed that evening, too." I blinked, surprised but not opposed. The idea was exciting. More laughter, more warmth. There was a tiny twinge of protectiveness, but I pushed it aside. "I'm okay with it," I said. "But you're always the most important person here." Her smile lit up the room. "In my heart, too," she whispered. The next weekend, Megan and Sarah came over for what Lisa called a private gathering. The nervous butterflies from the first time were gone, replaced by joyful anticipation. We started in the living room with soft music, wine, and easy flirting. Nothing heavy, just fun and connection. Soon we moved to chatting in a cozy spot, sharing stories, laughing until our sides hurt, and simply enjoying being together. This time, I felt more confident, more myself. We spent hours talking, praising each other's strengths, appreciating the unique qualities everyone brought: Lisa's passion and depth, Megan's playfulness and energy, Sarah's gentleness and thoughtfulness. Together, they created something truly special, an experience of real friendship and care that went beyond anything I'd known. As the months passed, our little circle continued. Lisa and I remained at the center, our bond growing stronger every day through honest talks and shared moments. Megan and Sarah joined occasionally, always adding fresh energy and joy. Of course, it wasn't always perfect. There were moments of doubt, little jealousies, worries about what others might think if they knew. But we navigated it all with open communication, respect, and care. One unforgettable evening after Megan and Sarah had gone home, Lisa and I were cuddling on the couch watching the stars. She turned to me, her expression serious but soft. "Jake, I need to tell you something," she said, her voice trembling just a bit. My heart skipped. For a second, I worried she might want to pull back. But then she whispered, "I think I'm falling in love with you, not just as family, but truly, deeply." Relief and joy flooded through me. "Lisa," I said, cupping her face gently. I felt the same for a while now. That night, we talked for hours about our feelings, our future, the unconventional path we were on. We knew not everyone would understand, but we were committed to making it work with honesty and love. As summer faded into fall, we found our new normal. To the outside world, we were still stepmother and stepson. In private, we were partners, lovers in the truest sense of emotional and spiritual connection. Megan and Sarah remained dear friends, occasional sparks of fun in our lives, but the core was always us. One crisp autumn evening on the back porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in beautiful oranges and pinks, Lisa turned to me with a smile. "You know," she said, eyes twinkling, "I never imagined that simple night in the hot tub would lead to all of this. Such deep love, such real happiness." I laughed softly, pulling her close. Reflecting on the journey, from that unexpected evening, of warmth and laughter to this moment of quiet contentment, it had been a whirlwind of discovery, joy, and love. The future was uncertain, with challenges surely ahead, but holding her, feeling her warmth, I knew we'd face it all together. As the stars began to appear, I made a silent wish, not for anything different, but for things to stay just as beautiful as they were. Because somehow, against all expectations, I'd found something I never even knew I was searching for. And it all began with one peaceful, life-changing evening in the backyard hot tub.